Thanks for joining us today. And I think so. Just the week after our massive, I think this like bit of a compromise. I think luckily,
Current
I
server,
think
so the
Jiras
new.
were really smart. Couldn't find a single victim so far. So I think really credits to you guys not to fall for that stupid, like the stupidest possible hack. So we have kind of addressing a little bit on the thing what happened. It was, I think, an account compromise from I think Jamie's and Josh. So they all have got like 2FA even with Google Authenticator. So it is not because of 2FA thing, but it's kind of like a probably some kind of a mirroring issue or something that might have happened. But Jamie has never clicked any links as well, so we know about the social engineering and all those kind of things. So something new,
Yeah,
but
I
whatever said.
explain. Yeah, I explain. First of all, congrats to everyone. Like, in a sense that founder getting hacked. No one is link. That's kudos to our community. Basically, I'm looking at it. There is a team that target, focusing on this. What happened? It's almost pretty much comes down to a fake verification bot. You go to into Discord and they get your token ID kind of thing. I think that's what happened. But in terms of now, I secured my account, so I changed my password and all that. So this is something that we're gonna continue on doing, changing our password every 10 days. So there's like if similar thing happens, we can kind of prevent it. But those kind of issues it could happen anytime. Like hackers getting even more sophisticated and all that. So it's a main thing that community is educated, being vigilant in regards to random drops and things like that. That's never gonna happen. So again, kudos to you guys being vigilant and educated about this kind of things. So
Yeah.
a big learning uh, thing for us. So
Yeah.
we move on.
Yep. And we've also implemented some extra security features. Obviously, I think you might have known
Yeah,
Avin. Avin has been like is deployed full time in our team purely for his technical skills and the security aspect of it. So right now we have used an alt account that's got a higher permissions than myself and Jamie. So in case of any kind of a hack, only those account I mean that account could be used, so it's almost like that account won't be touched for anything else.
yeah,
But either ways, as Jamie said, the hackers are going to always try and find better methods. Even I think I made a tweet about it, some probably gave them some ideas, but I think it's important that we are educated than worrying about them learning about it.
yeah,
Like using some other actual news about the project. Tomorrow they're going to be like, hey guys, more Jira claim is available for you guys, or the snapshot claim is ready. Click the link or something. Just always my own one request would be wait a bit, right? Just take a little bit of time. Don't rush, right? You're not going to gain by minting 10 minutes later or 10 minutes earlier. So it's safer always for us to just wait a little bit in case there is some problem, right? Easily some of the team members or one of the team members is going to come and post something like, hey, this doesn't make sense or something like that. So if you just give us like 10-15 minutes after any link is posted, just after any link is posted, if you just give us like 10-15 minutes before, as a community, we jump into any link. I'm saying even a link in the announcement which seems the smartest of the links. All right, I'm just saying, because there's not going to be any stealth drop, there's not going to be any stupid first come claims and stuff, except Tata's forms, the Google form for whitelist pots. So if Tata rugs, he'll take care, I mean, like, he'll pay from his own pockets. So except that kind of a Google form, but even then, even the Google forms make sure that you have an alt wallet, or alt address link. I mean, like, kind of like put in or whatever. So just be careful with links in general. All right. Yeah, okay. So let's move on to our main topics, right? So first things first, I think I want to address about the quarter three. Right? No, before that, sorry, the feedback form. So thanks a lot for everybody who's given us the feedback. It was really amazing, to be honest. I think this is an important step. I think I don't know. I don't want to compare, or I don't want to be like, hey, we are the first project to do this, or no one's done this, or something like that. But it doesn't matter if someone's done it already. But for us personally, the feedbacks what we got, I think 70% of the feedbacks I would say was really useful, really insightful, especially from OGs whom we thought are completely happy with the project, which they are. But ideas and the suggestions what they gave is, gave us a little bit of an insight to a lot of things that as a project founder, right? You, as a team, we start on something, but we might miss out few things that how Gojira was first of all even built. The motto, or the kind of let's say the kind of how do I say, the connection, how we developed the connection, what we developed with the holders was unique, right? We were almost like pioneers in launching the small supply meta kind of thing. So we shouldn't forget our roots, right? But when you develop and when you grow, you might deviate a little bit, like me not being present in the Discord a lot or something like that, and all those kind of issues were present for us, like say a month and a half or 2 months back, right? It was one of the biggest issues even by the OGs. As much as it was, we got a little bit. Me personally, I was just trying to be defensive about it. When someone complains, no communication, no this thing, or something like that, I was trying to be defensive about it because I'm like, guys, fucking, we are working. What are you talking about, right? But then we realized that helped us. That pushed us to come up with some solution, right? So one of that is obviously the feedback form, and not just a feedback form, but a form with a suggestion and a solution. Because the solution part is what I think is very, very important. It's easy for anybody to be like, Shan, increase the floor price, or Shan, do this, give this utility, or do that. But the hardest thing is to provide a reasonable solution to it. Shan, can you provide these tools? How do you do that? I know a contact who can help us do this. It might cost us a little bit, but it'll add a lot more value. And then we contact you guys and you give us the connect or something, and we get you the value, because without you having to spend money, you can be like, Shan, I'm paying for these tools 2 ETH a month. It's wasting my money, or 0.5 ETH a month, and it's wasting my money. Is there something where Gojira as such could develop something, and the solution could be like, develop something plus monetize it this way? Maybe we can make money, right? As well as provide free value for the holders. So this is the kind of feedback that we need, and that's what we got from like 70% of the people. That was one important step. And second one was obviously our daily VCs, right? Like the daily AMAs or daily VCs. It's really important for you guys to think and understand that we are not doing this daily VCs because we are jobless, right? We are doing this daily VC because Shan alone is not Gojira, right? There's a huge team behind it, like about 40 plus members at this stage. It's really important for you guys to connect with all these team members, know what they're doing, what's actually working, directly have a chance to give your feedback or listen to them, ask your questions, and at the same time, uh, you know building this really cool narrative of like a nice holder slash team relationship. And we want to educate the masses as a whole, which as a community we get smarter. We get not just smarter in just investing, but smarter emotionally, even with our EQ and our mental health. So which is why we are almost like kind of we have been pretty much focusing, or we have been working on the topics, recording it as whenever possible. I mean, I think almost every time, almost most of it has been recorded. Granted, you're not like a little more, we have to be a little more structured, which is already we are working on it, right? Structuring in the sense like uploading the videos to one particular spot or a YouTube or something like that, to keep a neat, history of all our recordings and stuff. It's definitely under works, and Amresh is leading that. All right, so you could just we'll just pretty much make sure that it's easily available in a hosting spot, like let's say like YouTube or something, so that it's maintained on a like a database, right? So as a community, we gotta try and grow in other aspects as well, right? Um, how I want, how I'm envisioning the Discord of Gojira to be in like few months. Every single one of you here can have an opportunity to just stay in the Discord, let's say 7-8 hours a day, for instance, like a 9 to 5 job. Quit your job and stay here from say 9 to 5, but you get your value, or you can start making some kind of um, income, or through the, but through learning, like through learning how to trade, by learning how to invest in stocks, or learning how to develop new skills, or even we can bring in like solidity devs to teach let's say like basics of solidity and other things. This is pretty much a dream, right? And this is what we have started this everyday VC for. It's kind of draining for us to keep coming up with topics and all those things, because as you may understand, it's not like it's a labor intensive job for us to even think, plan, and stuff. But we got people now. Like Zero Cool is pretty much the one who's organizing, and he's doing an amazing job. And he's educating people a lot. Like he spent like 5 hours, I think, on Monday or Tuesday, completely answering all the questions, teaching people how to use tools. Gojira is a spot where there's two types of people that can come in. One who could buy it and forget about it, and like just they trust the team, and they just go and do their work because they're super busy. Like let's say doctors or lawyers or something like that, for instance. And the second type, where we want an educated crowd, not just come and be like Shan, increase the floor, but rather like understand the process, be a part of the process, and take credit together, right? If we succeed together. If we have a hurdle, we face it together, right? This is pretty much how Gojira is going to be, and that's the vision when we say we are community-driven project, and this is community for us, right? So a huge shout out to all the guys who have been like conducting these regular AMAs, Tata, Zero Cool, the Money Minds team, Josh, and a lot others. So whoever has been attending, I'm pretty sure you must be gaining some insights or value from those Discord. I mean the AMAs, because I see a regular 100 plus attendees for almost all the VCs and stuff. And please do give your suggestions if you feel like, hey man, I don't think this let's say this particular AMA was boring. Can we make it a little more interesting, or can we add real estate kind of topic maybe, or something like that? If you have some suggestions, that's why we dropped in the form. So uh, use them wisely. Instead of complaining, let's grow into a community of where we grow together, right? So yeah, so that's pretty much from the communication side. And third thing, what we are working on is obviously the marketing and marketing aspects. So we have a full, like so Amresh is again like the guy who's leading that. We pretty much have kind of taken in like 5 to 6 like you'll more info would be posted soon, but like purely to um, make sure that our marketing is on point. We do not want any more random tweets, as like which we used to do before. We just come in and we be like, okay, we convey some information, we just put some tweet, but it's not like very unique, or any let's say, to be honest, like it wasn't very professional, right? When we started as a small community driven project, it's okay, you come in and post whatever you want in Twitter or Discord announcements, it's all right. But just be like, hey, we're going to be a $1 billion brand, you got to act like one, and you got to do the part. So I think you might have noticed recently the tweets and stuff were having some basic like some decent artwork and stuff, slash something like this, like even with the updates and stuff. um, One sec. Yeah, just I posted here. So like we, instead of just posting randomly, we are just going to move towards more and more towards like a structured way of announcements. The team is pretty much like working on a structure to like a step by step basis. So if me or Jamie want to post, we go through a process, and the marketing team runs through it and decides how to run it, and ensures that it reaches a lot more people. Like a lot of our tweets we release some amazing products, but a lot of our tweets do not reach a lot more people, right? It's not because we do not have shillers, it's because it's not attractive. Just making a tweet like, hey guys, we partner with Adidas, versus making a small video. As you may see, as you may have seen the video in Singapore, a lot of them loved it, right? The transition video of announcing the what is it, rebranding of PG, and also the other video of rebranding of PG and Evolve. So we are pretty much moving towards like a consistent marketing slash announcements, which I think is really important for us as a project to grow to a bigger scale. And I think even recently you can see the complaints, the number of complaints Doodles has been getting about no tweets in the last 1.5 months and stuff like that. As much as people or projects keep building in the back, we realize through our community members that it's really important that we never stop the communication. So, anyways, so that's why the team is all going to be available every day, right? There's going to be one or the other always going to come up in the spaces or Discord, voice chats for you guys to come and ask any questions. And if there's something they cannot answer, they're going to bring it to us, right, in our team meeting or something, and we'll give a solution slash answer to it. So one of the suggestions what we got, I think quite a few of them actually gave the suggestion, was that they love the idea of Jira Tank, right? We have like 3 projects lined up for Jira Tank. Okay, so yeah, so we have got like 3 projects lined up for Jira Tank, but what we got, a few of them had posted was like, Shan, the idea of Jira Tank is amazing, but not many people know about it, right? Not many people in the space know about it. They're just seeing it as a product, but they do not exactly understand what's Jira Tank or what benefits or who's getting what, or that the product called Jira Tank even exists, or is planned, right? So we were supposed to have our first Jira Tank episode on Tuesday, right? Because with Mongs and Gannicus and a couple of other guys, but with the marketing team, so we had a discussion. So they're going to be running a marketing campaign for it to ensure that a lot more people first get to know that there's a product like this coming out. Completely first have a Twitter Spaces or something, or whatever the strategy. We are going to like pretty much trust them completely on this because it's a very experienced team, members for the marketing side. So we're going to run a campaign, try and bring out the reach to more people. They first understand, let them understand or know that a product like Jira Tank is being launched, and that this is the utility what Genesis or Gen 2 would get, and what is the contribution from Jiraverse. So let them know the difference or segregation amongst all 3 collections with respect to, say, Jira Tank, for instance. And once that's clarified or clear, in a week or 10 days or whatever, the campaign, then we bring up the episode on a grander scheme of thing, and on a grander scale, for more people to, have some anticipation or understand what it is, right? So that's why we have just paused it just for a few days, the Jira Tank side of things. But rest assured that we want to make sure that from this point, any product we launch is not like we just drop it and be like, okay, this product is coming and forget about it, right? But ensure that it reaches a lot more people. Okay, so that's been our one of the key suggestions that was given in in our Google Forms, which was really nice, because this is a point that we were discussing ourselves before that, and to see a lot of community members think in the similar way and be like put this point like, guys, you're doing an amazing job, but no one's knowing about the products you guys are launching. It's only the Gojira holders consistently knowing about it, right? So I really appreciate that, for whoever gave that feedback. I think about 6 or 7 of them kind of gave a similar feedback for marketing and product kind of thing, because our ideas are good and these things are good, but people have to know about it, and which I agree. So that's the reason why the Jira Tank, we would just be waiting just for the campaign, and then we pretty much can you know just launch it as an episode for the Genesis holders to watch and vote. Okay. So the next up is, I think agenda wise, yeah, I think I wanted to talk to you about, um, is there a place where I can read more on Jira Tank? That's exactly what I explained now. You'll have, this has been the problem from us in the sense like we come up with a product, but many do not exactly understand what the product is or how to claim them. So there's, the marketing team would come up with a strategy, right? And for you guys to first understand and make sure it's completely clear before we, move forward with the product. Any product henceforth, right? So it's going to have its own, like, kind of reach. And many people didn't even know that the Genesis have got something called as bot Jira, like, for them to put their wallets in an auto snipe or auto mint. Many didn't even know, right? So as I said, like, we have just relied on organic word of mouth marketing, but I think it's time to kind of step away from that, because we gotta, as I love organic marketing and word of mouth and stuff, but the problem is the space has already shrunk. It's not like we had been really good with organic marketing, to be honest, right? But it's pretty much because of the bear market, it's shrunk really hard, and a lot of people have already left the space. So when that's the case, there's no point in trying to just stick with word of mouth or organic marketing because there's not many people in the space. So we'll be changing our marketing strategy in that sense. Another important announcement. Um, heard the feedback that we are announcing on Twitter without. Yep. Heard the feedback that we are announcing on Twitter without coming to the community first to iterate into a better project. So that's the plan to move forward with. Exactly. So we want to involve you guys more into our announcements or any of our products. You know, wait. Can anyone link the Jira was? Yeah. So so currently, I think the Jira was for the form is sorry, the suggestion form is just open to Genesis and Gen 2 for starters, because we just didn't want to flood, I think, too much this thing. So I don't think you might find it in. I think the Jira holders announcement has been locked for Jiraverse for now, I think. Right, G? I think. But yeah, once that opens up, I think you'll have an access to the the feedback form. So another important change. So final important change as such is today's town hall part of the announcement. Marketing. Is today's town hall going to include the announcement of the marketing team slash agency? So it's a marketing team, but there, I think Amresh wants to announce even the team in a nice way, like like a proper this thing. I mean, like just you're gonna see in a couple of days. Amresh, do you want to just touch up on that? The announcement of the marketing team. Amresh, you there?
Yes.
All right. So I'm not gonna see any. Yeah. So see, the thing is, right? Certain things, even I'm gonna be taking a back seat on, because I'm not gonna run every single bit of the project. Okay, that's not gonna work. So marketing side, any questions you have, just tag Amresh in the chat. They are gonna be running a lot more. Things the way it should be run, kind of thing. So we're gonna give them the let's say the power to run few things. Obviously, it will be discussed with me and Jamie in the team meeting, but we're going to give them their freedom to run it in their way. So as mentioned, I think I think even Ice has mentioned here the same point, like organic or word of mouth is great when we have a lot of ice. With many users leaving the space, readily accessible info for education is amazing. Thanks, Shan. So that's pretty much the plan, right? We want to make sure we should be able to adapt. That's more important. So so that's basically what's happening here. Okay, it's a different thing. All right. So that's pretty much our focus. The final change or major change that's happened to our team is a huge restructuring and recruitment. All right. So that also, I think the marketing team, they'll make an announcement of all the team members, the newly ones, the new ones, and whoever has gotten say a promotion or demotion or whatever it may be. or their change of roles or any of those things, we'll be announcing. So we have increased our staff base. I think close to now, I think 40 plus members. I think if from because of the Jira OS funds coming in, we worked out the numbers. We make sure that we have enough funds for like more than 1.5 years kind of thing. Even if there's no income stream, we should be able to run it without any income stream in mind, I'm saying. So we have a long runway compared to a lot of other projects. Should be in the top 1 percentile easily, from our comparison and analysis. Obviously, Azuki, Moonbirds, they're on a different scale. I'm talking about projects outside of those top 5 projects. So we have a good runway. So we were able to do the numbers and hired a lot more mods, more back-end staff, more marketing team members and stuff like that. So all the structuring and the team members announcement will again be made by the marketing team. So remember Ragnarok burning through millions for salaries, exactly. So we had to scale up, but we took our step, right? We took our step. Even Josh has become a core team member. It is a recent, we don't want to use the word core team anymore, but let's call it the executive management team, for instance, and the management team. uh, so pretty much Josh has become the kind of like in the top 10 management team, for Gojira. So all the other members, whoever has come in or whatever their role has changed to, will be posting an announcement. For us, financial discipline is very important. I think more and more projects are recognizing and commending us for that, because they realize the pain right now with all the 0% royalties coming up and projects not minting out. Um, Understanding the market is important. I think you guys can agree. Even with Jira was mint. I don't want to brag too much, but we are probably the one of the few projects where we minted out. Nobody can say that Gojira is non-minted project or something like that. And as we know how it has affected the other projects when they have not minted out, and the trust, or there is no more, it kind of affects your future of the project as well. We saw what happened with Izu, or what happened even with Lama's keywords or something. It's not like projects definitely need funds, but also important thing is to understand the market sentiment and situation. As much as we could have, as you may know, we could have raised a lot more funds from Gen 2 if needed. But it's okay. We wanted to stick to our narrative of a mint price that's accessible to a lot of people. So absolutely no complaints on it. And 100%, I think, we didn't have to stress about cutting supply. We didn't have to stress about things. We came up with an fair DA all the way down to zero. Completely let the market and the community and people determine what they valued at, instead of us coming up with a value, right? So definitely a huge credit to our team for coming up, with an idea, and for brainstorming, and not completely kind of like screw up our reputation in that sense. All right, so let's time to move into the other updates. So all this while, the first half of the year, as I said, I think the last town hall 2 weeks back, we hadn't been giving any dates because market was changing and all those things. We were observing, at the same time building our network and connections and all that. But now I think we were really clear about how the market's behaving, right? And the cycles and what's happening, and what will stay and what will not stay, right? It doesn't matter whether it's a bull market or bear market, whatever the market it may be, right? There are few things that's not going to be affected, right? That's something that's really clear for us, right? We have a huge advantage as such compared to a lot of other projects, because we had been going down this path for a long time. That is income streams, right? As you may know, for the last 2 months, I think I announced a few times that the income that we got outside of royalties is much more than what outside of royalties is much more than the royalties itself. From our Web3 devs, dev services, consultancy, launchpad services, and a few other things, right? So this has been giving us more funds than royalties. Okay, so this is just few of the few of the this thing. What is it? Income streams, right? So I think we announced in detail about our other income streams. Anyways, so coming back to the date, henceforth we will be giving like updates or targets for each of the quarters, and I think that's the announcement I made as well. So for quarter three, our targets are number one, as I think as I told in the previous this thing as well. Quarter three, the target number one is the tools. Um, Again, it's not just going to be like some random stupid ass tools. I'm sure you guys will be proud of it, and we'll have testing, like few of the community members will be testing the tools and stuff for like the final changes and all those things. But this is something our devs are confident that it's going to be like if not better than NFT nerds, at least equivalent to NFT nerds, and almost like negligible price and free for obviously Gojira holders, right? So, quarter three, right? Number one is tools. End of this month is our target, right? I'm not going to
Yeah.
commit to the date such. I'm not committing to the date as such, but it's ready for testing for us, right? This is the update, right? It's ready for us to
Yeah.
test for us, as in like the team members, for us to test and stuff, to give our feedback, and then the next step is pick up guys like King and few other guys from our community who has been zero cool and all of those guys coming in to give their final feedback for UI and little more changes or any of those basic updates and stuff like that. So that's for the tool side of things. That's quarter three. And as I said in the previous town hall, Jamie told that he'll give us Genesis off if the tools are not coming out by quarter three. Right, Jamie? All his Genesis one-on-one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. So that's one. So as much as we will try to get it out much earlier, we want to make sure the product is fine, perfect, and we took our time. So we want to make sure that the time that we took, we do not want to be a isekai meta, right? We took like fucking like 3 months to launch and then be like, it's a shit tool, right? So we want to make sure that it's got the quality, right, and no compromise on it. Although we have been working on it for a few couple of like funding was a little bit, let's say, like we were trying to work with a small funding. Now we have a little had a little more funding, so we were able to push it fast. Number two for quarter three is the gasless marketplace. For those of you who missed it, I think I posted the UI, right? The marketplace UI, the gasless marketplace. Again, the update is that it's in the testing phase with the team now. So it's not just a UI or something. We are testing for bugs and stuff. Um, Imagination, I'll leave it to your imagination as such what we could do once the gasless marketplace is out, because it's gonna be a game changer, right? In the sense, like, it's gonna give us the freedom to do a lot more things than people can imagine, because it's just like almost like it's going to become like a, let's say, like a slot machine. No, no, not slot machine, like more like a pokey, where you put your tokens in and it's cashless and you can do like which is going to be much easier without having to pay gas for every single transaction. And we're not in L2 or anything, sticking with L1. So it's a new product, not like a copy or something. So we had to work our way through it, and so that's again quarter three. I'll just post the UI. I think I already posted once, but I'm just, if anyone's got it, just post it, or else I'll just post the UI for our this thing. What is that? The marketplace. What we have got. One more unique aspect is obviously of this marketplace is that there's going to be multiple projects that are going to be using Jira tokens, right? Even the public. There's going to be separate access for public, separate access for other projects, like Dark Echelon, Dante Walker, DGN Pass, and few other projects as well. So a lot more people would be getting to know about the Jira tokens because it's going to be their native tokens. Don't worry about the earning aspect of tokens and stuff. Many of you, I think I've already explained that only Gojiras can earn tokens that can be, tradable in Uniswap. Okay, don't look at the pricing now. Okay, if you're going to look at the pricing of the tokens now and be like, it's negligible or something, that's not how it's going to work, right? So I'm just talking in, like, let's say 6 months from now. Okay, look at the use case for the tokens. That's being focused. So the tokens can only be withdrawn by Gojira holders. Rest of them, like whomever we are partnering with, it be a back-end token. So they can use it in the marketplace. They can burn the tokens in a public section of our gasless marketplace and stuff. They can, if they hold a Gojira and a DWC, the tokens that they earn from the DWC's backend, they can use even in Jira's marketplace. Okay, but they cannot withdraw the tokens. Only Gojiras can withdraw the tokens, right? Like from the contract or whatever. So it can never be dumped. It can only be bought by other communities as well. So if you think of it, so I'll give a little bit of time for you guys to think. Um, it's going to be pretty much like a thing where any other, if you think of this, right? If Dante is going to put 100 meme land spots for his holders, and let's say they earn like 2 Jira tokens a day or 3 Jira tokens a day, but it's a backend token. Now, they cannot sell those tokens, but to participate in the raffle, to buy more tickets or to access a little more, they can buy tokens from Uniswap and then drop the tokens into our backend gasless marketplace, right? And once that's done, they're burning more. So they're buying more of our tokens, and then they're burning more, not the other way around. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Also in addition, every project that coming on board, they have to allocate some of their whitelist spots to public, so
yep.
which is like nice bonus to our marketplace.
Exactly. So keep it in simple. Let's say there's 5 projects in our gasless marketplace, and let's say each of them got 100 meme land spots, except us, right? We are going to be, let's say, exception for it, not compulsory. So these guys will all contribute, say, 5 to 10 spots to our common Jira pool, right? Which will be say raffle for the public plus Jira holders or anyone who's got a Jira token. So we are almost like being a Jira holder or earning these Jira tokens. You will get access even to like 10% of our 5 to 10%. I'm just giving the percentage as an example, but roughly 5 to 10% of our partner whitelist allocations as well. Okay, so this is just, I'm just like, it's one of the few benefits apart from access to some of their products, their tools, or whatever what they develop. So I hope that's clear that it's a win-win situation, but it's more a win for us, right? Because of the tokens, them buying more, forcing them to buy more than, and not allowing them to dump. And you may ask, what is the benefit for these projects to use our tokens? What's the point? Like, if it's going to be like this, why can't they launch their own tokens? This is where the thing is. Just think of this. Running a token ecosystem is not easy. To be honest, not a single project has cracked, the token ecosystem, token sustainability. Not a single project. Okay, so if that's the case, all these projects coming in and trying to launch new tokens, they understand the difficulty. They understand with us having our own team and stuff. Still, it's really hard, like because the market treats this as passive income, which is kind of dumb. But I can't blame people as well. They see this as, I'm making $1 a day. Let me go and dump my tokens in Uniswap. So but not try to think of the long term where as I said, like the tokens are limited supply, so it's not going to be forever, right? I'm not going to keep emphasizing that. So all these guys dumping just because they're making like $1 a day or $2 a day out of 4 tokens, it's on them, it's okay, but um, there's going to be a supply crunch. Okay, that's all I can say, right? There's going to be a supply crunch. So all these projects, we explained to them exactly our plan, so they liked it, and they understand that Jira has got like huge potential. Nothing is 100% guaranteed in life, but the way we have worked out, it's much more. Let's say, like can make it super valuable, right? So for them, they don't have the stress of running tokens. They don't have the stress of making their own marketplace, and they're getting all these benefits plus their association with Kojira. For them, they like to be associated with us. They feel like they want to be associated with a transparent company or project like us. So that's pretty much like the reason why these projects want to use our tokens as their native tokens, at the same time except for these things where their holders cannot withdraw the tokens and stuff like that. And we get benefits, as I said, from the other projects we are, like Dark Echelon or Champs Only or Dante Walker or any of these projects. So, and we are starting with the low supply ones, just for us to test and trial and all those things. 500 supply, 250 supply ones, and like very small supply for starters. So we can obviously see how things are moving, and then like can suddenly influx of Jira tokens ongoing due to right. So, anyways, point here is again, guys, just we got to be a little more like proof collective or any of these projects that like it's or board apes. It's not like they work on passive income or they're getting like regular income or something. It's purely turned into a brand, and the brand value is driving. Else why the fuck is like BAKC at 7th or something? It does nothing, right? So it's all going to be it's all about brand value in life, anything like iPhone or Louis Vuitton or whatever it could be, right? So brand value is in the sense where how people perceive it. So it's going to come down to how we make our project product viewable or perceivable by the public, like perceived by the public. So as long as we can prove or make the public perceive PG as a a quality brand, all these tokens and all these floor prices, it's automatic. It's the belief, and it's the people. Number of people is like 2,000 or 3,000 people. Like it's not like 200,000 people, right? Apple has convinced millions of people that they're a quality product. Louis Vuitton has convinced again millions of people that it's a quality product. So like, I think like about 2,000, 3,000 people, for them to come together and feel connected with Gojira and be like, okay, this is where my home is, this is where I think I belong. It just takes some time, but it's not like a the time where the time taken for, let's say, the short term profit takers to leave, and for the long term ones to come and buy and be like, I don't care what's going to happen, I trust this team, I'm just going to put it and forget it for 3 years or 2 years because this is one team I believe in. So the belief is what we want to build. And how do we build it? Transparency and execution, efficiency, right? And also financial discipline, right? These four aspects, and that four aspects is what we are completely and heavily focusing on. So yeah, so updates on the marketplace and the tools, I think I kind of clearly explain explained about the marketplace and the UI as well. And Jamie, do we have the UI of the dark echelon? Just for the guys who are in the AMA, they can see it. I'll just a small. It's not. It's going to be a bit different than the. So it won't just be exactly the this. It's like a similar looking one, so it'll have its own theme and stuff. So there's a little more
All right.
value.
Let me get it. One second.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, see, as I said, right, we cannot be blaming people if they're going to dump the tokens or dump the floor or something. But let's say it's 80% on the team, all right, to team's responsibility, right, to regularly, do what we are doing, execute and make, build the trust. 20% is probably on the community to come together and be like, okay, guys, we are here for a moment, we are here for a change, we are supporting this project. Is this dumping of this $10, is it going to change my life or is it needed? But if we hold as a community together, it's probably like it shows that the community is strength and all those kind of things. So 80% is on the team, the 20% is on the community, so majority lies on the team. So majority of the people blame the floor price on the community, but it is not the case, right? It's not the case. Moonbirds, I know there's a lot of manipulation and all those things, but still it's coming down. It's going to come down to teams execution, educating, right? We have been, instead of complaining or blaming, we have started educating people. And even after all the education and even after all the, let's say, AMAs or answering all the questions, explaining to the community, clarifying all the doubts and like taking care of the feedback, even after that, if they feel yeah shit, the project is rejected by the community, as simple as that, right? It's a project that's rejected, like there's nothing. It happens. Project rejection is something that happens. Like you be like, I worked so fucking hard, I didn't get a 100 on 100 in my test. It doesn't matter. Like it's that's your capacity, or it can be your you're not like passionate towards it or something like that. So similarly, just because a team is putting hard work and just because the team is doing the right things, doesn't mean that every single product is going to be successful, right? I hope most of you can agree. So that is exactly why we have also diversified our streams. So if one product is rejected, we have multiple other projects. And the way we have worked, all these products, we are not like spending hundreds of thousands and then be like, sorry, we learned our lesson. We're going to rug the project and start a new one. But rather, we have been purely giving them, equity. We had been taking some equity, and in return, we are just giving our time and marketing and our network, right? So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the difference between what we are doing and what other projects are doing in respect to funding. So if we had burnt all our funds in the last 6 months and brought out an irrelevant product, we are gone now. Like, already our funds are burnt out and it's gone. So pretty much, these two by quarter three. And finally, for the Jira was guys, a lot of impatient ones, and can't blame again. A lot of bots bought a lot of Jiraverse, so obviously they want to exit like at point oh three or whatever, like the floor is, I don't even know. But rest assured, right, like just think of Kongs, VX and potatoes, right? What system they're doing is pretty simple, but they're still like consistent at a point 0.6 ETH floor, irrespective of whatever the Gen 2, and it's a 15,000 supply. So all I could say at this stage is one, the VX drop is quarter three, right? So this is our third quarter three target. I think I told two of the quarter three targets. So this is the third quarter three. So the claim for the VX is quarter three. So that's like before the September 30th, right? Might be earlier, might be at the same date or whatever, but quarter three is the target, right? It's not just something we may reach it or something. It's we are pushing super hard to get all these targets achieved. So the VX would have its own mechanism for them to level up, to earn some stuff, to simple stuff, right? You don't have to spend hours and hours. Simple stuff for you to win some things, level up, and also like keep while the metaverse side of things are being ready. As I said, right, like my aim, again, don't take it word to word, but my aim, right, seeing Genesis as the equity holders, Gen 2 as the dividend earners, and finally Jiraverse as the metaverse assets. All right. So is that clear? Like Genesis as the equity holders of the brand, right? Gen 2 as the dividend earners, that is the token breeders plus profit sharing in that sense. Again, it's not like it's happening tomorrow, but this is my aim, how I want to bring out PG in the mid to long term, and Jiraverse will be the assets. All right. So if you just have a Genesis, and if tomorrow there is some kind of an amazing, let's say, a metaverse coming out from either us or even Ape or whatever, you will not be able to participate in any of those just with your Gojira Genesis or Gen 2. All right. Hope that's clear. So if you don't have your Jiraverse, you pretty much are out of it. Jiraverse in the sense the VX or the 3D claim or whatever that comes out, right? You won't be able to access it. So it's purely up to you how you're going to value. If you, or when you're going to value that metaverse is going to be an important key aspect in a revolution of Web3 or whatever. And in the meantime, there's going to be other aspects, like it's not just going to be like you're going to hold your VX and sleep with it, right? There's going to be other aspects for you to win automatically. All right, so something we are working on where you could win something, and we believe that a lot of you are like you're working and stuff, and you cannot keep checking in every time to see if you won something, or if you have to click into your click and participate into whitelist giveaways or something. We want to automate a lot of things, but not just automate and be like you come back to check whether you won. That's again not automation. But automate and you get a ping on your mobile phone, right, that you won a whitelist, come and claim it, right? um, and that's pretty much an important aspect. Like a lot of them, they win. All right, like let's say the potatoes, for instance, you win, but you have no clue that you won. Okay, you might miss it. What if you won an MVP and it's not airdropped and you have to come and claim? So a notification ping, Wait, just a sec. So a notification ping is just one of the aspects, but we are trying to working out, like, a lot of automation. Automation is what we believe is going to make life a lot easier. Just to pick, a little bit of my brain, right, for you guys who are here. Just imagine if you can just put your Twitter ID in a tool. Okay, you put a Twitter ID of a project, okay, that you won whitelist for, right, in a tool. And imagine if that tool is gonna be like, okay, you forget about it, you funded it already, you go and sleep, and a month later, like Memeland, for instance, right, you put the Memeland's Twitter ID in this tool, and then you go and forget about it, and because you won the whitelist, right? And now Memeland is announcing after 2 months that their whitelist, their mint date and their contract and everything is ready, but you're in a trip or something because you didn't expect it, and they're like, in 3 days we're minting out. Now this, imagine if this tool, since you're already entered the Twitter ID or something, can read the contract address from the tweet, or we are partnered with that particular project so that we enter the contract address from the backend. So everyone who's kind of won the whitelist spot, automatically the contract address is added, and on the day of the mint, the bot automatically mints your whitelist spot, right? I'm just giving an example, right? This is something that doesn't is not in existence, but do you think it's impossible to make this tool? Absolutely not. It's very, very doable. It's a very straightforward, but it's a solution to an existing problem. Okay, so this is just like, I'm not saying that this product is coming from Gojira or something, but this is how we think. Right? This is how we think. This is how, as a team, we brainstorm. This is how we try to tackle existing problems. It's not everybody says the bridge Web 2 to Web 3 first. Let's fucking fix the problems in Web 3, right? So that's pretty much how we work. So if you think about the idea what I told, that's something like, imagine how much people would be willing to just come into our ecosystem because only Gojiras can get access to the tools, for instance, that particular automated tool, for instance, right? So this is effectively like, just for you guys to think or pick our brain or how we work and all those kind of things, for you to think about, like, so that's pretty much wait 1 second. Yeah, that's pretty much one of the things. And yeah, that's mint times for most projects. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not just about mint times, it's about you want to, you imagine a process where you hold a Jira, you forget about it for months, and the tool is you're automatically gonna be entered into raffles. Okay, if you click a button and you be like auto mode or something, and it automatically puts you in raffles. You win something, it automatically knows that you won, so that it adds it to the contract or whatever. It automatically is minted. And if you want to flip it or sell target, that can also be set for you. You can be like, sell at 3x, sell at 5x. It'll be a trader's heaven, right? Like, where you start at some point and you set everything up and you forget about it, so you don't care after that. You don't have to stress. Like, say you mint Azuki, and you'd be like, if you set a condition like sell it if it has reached 5x, Azuki is sold at 5 ETH because it's reached 5 ETH. You don't have to look at it later and be like, oh shit, I could have sold at 20, or I could have sold. You want to even know which ones you won and stuff. Obviously there's a history and stuff that's going to be there. But this is for people, we want to bring in real investors in. Okay, we want to bring real investors in. How do you bring real investors in? They can't come into Discord and be like, guys, I'm going to click the link, guys, I'm going to go to Jira Marketplace every day and see what is available, participate in raffles or participate in blind bidding. The real way to kind of bring the real investors in is like, I want to put my money, I trust the team, and it automatically is going to pay me some dividends, either in the form of whitelist spots or auto mint functions or something like that, where I'm auto raffled. If I had won, ETH would have been accumulated, and I can come and claim my ETH after a few months, right? So you got to be respectful of investors' time. Right now it's filled with degens. Again, guys, please I'm telling all this because I just want you guys to understand the mindset of the PG team. It's not for tomorrow, or it's not for a month later. We are looking at it as a Web3 as a revolution, like internet, right? So we got to target the guys like Kevin O'Leary, right? Kevin O'Leary is not gonna, if I want to convince, okay, if I meet Kevin, right, And if I have to convince him to buy a Gojira, he's gonna be like, "What am I gonna get? I don't want to change my Twitter PFP, so what am I gonna get? I'm gonna be like, oh, you get tools, you're gonna get whitelist pods, you're gonna get this brand equity." And he's like, "Wait, brand equity? How you gonna give me brand equity?" And I'm like, "Oh, you're just part of the ecosystem." And he's like, "Do I own the equity in your product, or do I get my dividends or something?" And I'm like, "No." Right, right. And how do I get claim this whitelist spots? You're telling that Genesis can win a lot of spots. How do I win this? And he's like, and if I'm going to be like, you got to come into the Discord, participate in blind bids or raffles and stuff, and you may win something, right? He's going to be like, fuck off, right? So he's not going to come in and he's not going to do it. So this is the trend that's going to happen. Like if we cannot just be trading amongst the degens. If you want to bring in the real investors from Web2, you got to give them a product, right? You got to give them a product that can automate stuff for them at a 30%, 50%, or 40% or whatever APY a year, on a consistent basis, without them having to come in and check into the discords. Then they're going to look into invest into your product, right? So yeah, so pretty much this is how we would want to, I'm just giving an insight for all the newcomers into our ecosystem, as even Jiraverse holders, just to know or understand how our team thinks. That's really important for you to understand what path we are taking. It's very important that you guys understand how the team thinks. And if you feel that, um, no, the way Gojira is thinking is not my style, it's okay. It's fine. You can move to another ecosystem, because not everybody is going to use the same Colgate paste. Someone's going to use Pepsodent because they like that more than this. So there's not a single product in the world that's going to be suitable for everybody, right? So the reason why we are opening up how our thinking process works is so that you guys can take a better decision, whether this gives you enough confidence in the team, or whether it's the line of thinking or level of thinking is the same as what you thought about, and stuff like that. So this is the main reason. And do not feel ashamed if you are like, for selling a project, because you're like, oh, I don't say, for example, right, a lot of the complaints about Psychedelic Anonymous is that people don't understand what they're doing, right? So when you do not understand the ecosystem, no one can blame you. And even same Peter, if you don't understand what Jiras are doing, it's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong for you guys to move to a different ecosystem. However, we would like you to stay with us. I'm not going to be like, go and dump us. I'm just saying that, we, as much as we would like everybody to be in, we also think that the right people staying in, and is more important for the brand, and else it's going to hurt us hard. Right. And as I say, nothing is 100% guaranteed in life. It's purely at this stage, like, it's a high risk, high reward investment. That's NFTs. So which high risk, high reward community or team that you want to bet on, right? Everything is a high risk, high reward, but which um, community that you want to bet on is pretty much the NFTs at this stage. So which is why VCs or AMAs are very important for you guys to understand, like, which teams suit your style. All right. So this is pretty much like the three main targets for quarter 3. Doesn't mean that this is all is there, right? We kind of been launching some stuff without even like some prior notice. We need that anticipation, like, that's really important. So you guys, like, everything, if you're going to put it out, like, in a map, key points, yes, we're going to put in the three important targets for quarter 3. But it doesn't mean that it's limited to that. There could be, like, other things coming up, or whatever. So that's pretty much it. Anything else, Jamie, in the agenda that we had to touch on?
I think you talked about most of it.
I think, so anyways, we'll go for some questions either ways. If I remember, there was something else I wanted to just touch upon a little bit. Yeah, I think I covered the marketing, I covered the team structure, and I've covered the quarter 3 targets. And yeah, I think pretty much, I think from my side, I think that's all I've got. Open for some questions. the other snapshot on the 29th. Okay, so this one I think is another airdrop. I think Jamie's worked really hard to get us this. It's pretty decent in dollar term. It's pretty decent, I would say, from what I heard. So yeah, I mean, don't expect like $1,000 worth of drop or something, but it's pretty decent. The other airdrop, whatever is coming up as well. CD5 news, yes, airdrop on the 31st. I don't know if it's airdrop or claim. They're calling it airdrop, but they're asking us to claim. And they kind of fucked us up. They first told that it's stackable. So every project, we are the only project who are working hard to get alt wallets to ensure that you get more of the airdrops. Okay, no one's doing that. So they said that every wallet gets one access. Then we fought with them. We kind of told that even if it's manual work for us, we want to ensure that you guys, we add more extra wallets for you guys. I don't know what's the value or anything of that. I just posted the benefits of the CD5 drop and stuff. But we would be the only project where we will be getting more tokens based on the number of NFTs you hold, because we are doing a manual wallet collection, alt wallet collection and stuff. CD5 news airdrop 31st. I remember Shan mentioned that PG is planning to. What's the plans for it, and what is PG? Oh, so pretty much like PG. Yeah, pretty much that's the thing, right? So registration in UAE is the first step. So I think G and Ambrish and family would be the first ones to move in. Moving is like, registration and moving is it's not a straight up an easy process, right? So it's kind of like a little bit time consuming. What is it intending to do as a Web2 company? Nothing much. Our aim is to become a financial institute so that we can legally call Genesis equity holders and Gen 2s as, dividend. You can pay dividends to Gen 2. So in terms of tokens and stuff, and adding ETH to the liquidity pool and all those kind of things, to ensure that we can list on Binance and all those kind of things. Because airdropping once is different, like Bored Apes, but allowing a consistent income stream and constantly adding liquidity to tokens, it requires legal obligations, financial side. So the reason why we want to register is that. And second thing is, registering as a Web2, as I said, is going to we can attract more investors. As I said, investors don't mean that they have to come and sweep the floor. Investors mean even Jira Tank. The people who could fund behind the ideas for Jira Tank is still investors, because they want to put $500,000 for Jira Tank, ideas. For instance, that's investors. So establishing in Web2 allows us to easily approach more of these guys. Gen 1 or Gen 2 gets the airdrop, both Gen 1 and Gen 2. Any updates on fractional Jiras? I think we can have a call with Pau and G maybe sometime this week, because I haven't talked about the fractional side of this thing yet, because I think there was after Inferno's thing, like, it's a little bit of a mess. But by this week, we'll have probably a one AMA just for the fractional wallet holders, suggestions, and other, to make it a little more smoother and easier process. So Pau, G, and maybe Tata, I don't know who is involved. We'll kind of record some AMAs for the fractional Jiras. About Jiraverse next NFT, any date? I think I told about it. It's Q3, so before September, anytime. It could be September first week, second week, or even earlier. And then, so what is it? It's, as I said, it's gonna have its own simple functions. We are gonna probably test Jiraverse with the automated function, maybe, of whitelist bots and stuff, to see how it works. You just claim it or stake it or whatever you do. Or just hold it in your wallet and you might win some stuff, whitelist or whatever, or Gen 2 NFTs or something. And we just want to test the automated process and probably see how good the automation is. I think I spoke about most of the points here. Jiraverse VX reveal is this year, this Q3. Business license update, it's going on. It's in UAE. As I said, we'll update as soon as we get it. We don't want to delay it, because guys ready to move. Amresh and G are the first ones to move, and then myself. So we want it as fast as possible as well, but we want to make sure it's a very hard to explain to the government like about NFTs and stuff. So we have to probably go down. We are going down the crypto company kind of route kind of thing. Jira tools again updated in the AMA already. So quarter 3, when Evolve starting to do AMA. Evolve is completely going to be a separate way how it's going to be operated. So as I said, it's going to have its um, of course, like, sorry, one second. I think Gurana said, yeah. So Evolve is going to be a separate way how it's going to be run. You're going to see some nice collabs and stuff like that's with Evolve coming up. It's all going to happen before the mint. Like we have the funds and all those things. So whatever we plan for Evolve, the products will be the aim is for the public to experience the products and the collabs and stuff and see, and then they're going to see the value behind the Evolve and PG ecosystem as such. And the good thing is Evolve, I haven't retweeted, I haven't ran any giveaways, I haven't retweeted from PG's Twitter or anything. It's purely been by itself. Many people, many even Gojiras don't even know that Evolve is part of the Jira group. And I checked that 70% of the followers of Evolve do not follow Gojira or myself, my Twitter account. So it's a completely a new set of eyes and attention coming into into the Evolve side of things. So which is going to be really important for us to use Evolve and as a brand, for us to grow as a brand. Taking part in Sav's Fitness 6 weeks. Jira was whale. Let's just. I want to announce the VX first and the utilities first, and then let's see how the floor is reacting. Right. Not saying that it's going to pump or dump, but I'm pretty sure people will like the idea what we have got for Jira, the VX, right? So when we announce the claim date, which is already quarter 3, as I told, and what you can do with your VX once you claim it, we want to check the floor or how it's reacting to the utility what we're going to provide. Based on that, the number we want to determine. Ooh. Team has spots. What's Jira? No, not Jira whale. Jira verse whales, as in like, because Jira was floor obvious. Like it's not um, like I don't know. Like, as I said, like a lot of bots got in, so maybe they're dumping or whatever. But as more people get to know exactly what use they could get from the Jira verse, it's expected to improvise. So because since the floor is kind of like it sold at 0.075, it wasn't a lot, but still it's kind of like at 0.04 now. So what we wanted to do was like provide a lot more access for Jira verse whales. If you hold, if you held, if you hold a number of say 5 or 10 or 15 or whatever the number could be, to get access to things like tools and stuff what Gen 2s and Genesis alone get. It's not like we don't want to give access to Jiraverse. It is just that we want to make sure that Genesis and Gen 2s don't get devalued in any sense. And Jiraverse's utility is different. It's not just it's not tools or just these benefits. So it's going to be different, right? So it has to have its unique value proposition. So that's pretty much why we want to just give that probably few benefits just to the Jiraverse whales extra to what we have planned for Jiraverse. Jira M first whale. Gee, I think it's time to kick out this guy. Purple Fire Ninja. He's talking about Jira motherfuckers more than first, more than like Jiras, like so kick this guy out of the mod. It's too much shilling off that Jira M first, man. What the fuck? Anything else? Ruben, did you want to tell something? I didn't understand what you sent me in DM. Is Ruben here? Wants to talk about some investment opportunities. It's not here. Is here. Do you want to talk something, Ruben, about this? Did I get drugged? Can you hear me? All right. I think. Don't think. Okay. Push to talk.
Hello?
Oh my god. Shit. Okay. Can you hear?
Yeah, push to talk is a nightmare.
Yep. Yeah. You
No, I
wanted to
just
share something
wanted
about.
to touch like briefly on that, since it fits with the narrative that you've been talking about earlier, is that we're also working in the back end with a lot of very interesting investment opportunities because of the network that we have been building out for the last year.
I think he got drugged. Um, I don't know what happened. So anyway, what you wanted to tell was like, so there's few really cool investment opportunities that we have got. Okay, from really big brands. It's not obviously NFTs and stuff, everything, right? But it's almost like you know, Ruben, are you back?
My back?
Yeah, yeah, yep, you are back. Yes.
Okay, yeah. No, you mentioned as much as I think that we should mention at this point, but we've been building out this network for about a year now, almost, and it's bringing along a lot of very, very interesting opportunities for us, purely um, because of the network in itself. Really, like it happens very privately in the back end. So we're working through these now. We're gonna have some meetings during this week, hoping to be able to share more potentially in detail going forward. But it's truly, truly exciting.
Yeah. So, I mean, the idea is also to give early access to the holders for a lot of Web2 investments, right? So that is really important, like for us as a business as well. Like getting an opportunity to invest early on into, say, IPOs of some brands, like who are a Web2 company but want to raise through crypto, for instance. Just giving an example, like Airbnb, for instance, if a 10% of the fundraising they wanted instead of going as stocks, they wanted to raise through cryptos, and they allow some kind of crypto raising or holders to KYC or something and claim those things. We want to bring those opportunities as well to holders, not just limited just to Ponzi NFTs, right? We have to try to bring some real investments in. So we have been getting a lot of kind of like offers like that. So as someone mentioned, obviously like legal regulations it's a very gray area. So not many lawyers and stuff even know about how to exactly legally work on a lot of things with respect to NFT being involved. It's not stocks, it's not cryptos took years. um, Cryptos took years to kind of even for a lot of projects to even understand what crypto is, right? For a lot of countries, even now there's so many countries they don't even understand or recognize what like cryptos. So it is highly important for us to make sure this is all like smooth process, maintain this decentralization aspect, but at the same time protect the security. I mean, make sure we consider the security aspects as well. So it's very easy if everybody KYC'd here, right? Imagine if everybody KYC'd here, 99% of our problems are sorted. But once we start doing KYC, then why the heck are we in Web3, right? So the aspect that we want to provide to potential investors is that we want to maintain the decentralization side of things. I don't care what you're doing with the money, right? I don't know whether what you're doing it's a good money or black money or blood money or whatever. That's none of my business. But I want to maintain the privacy of, say, our holders. Okay, I mean, keeping the privacy intact at the same time providing, the same security required benefits, or at least to an extent, try to provide it, is what our focus or area. I don't think many projects are even thinking about it at this stage, but that's why we want to be 10 steps in the front. So when we figure this out and we clear all these things and kind of come up with our licenses, we'll be already in like multi steps ahead, and we will be the first project to do it. So 100%, like I would say, like can hands down say that no other project is working towards this particular path. So which is the challenge we face, but what's a project or a good project without its own challenges? So Yeah, it's not impossible. It's definitely, I think, a very reasonable target what we have got. Um,
Yeah, I wanted to just add something onto what I was saying earlier, if I may. And that is like very early on, we started talking about this. Like I feel maybe much earlier than a lot of others. We were talking about bridging Web 2 into Web 3, and becoming a brand and getting these opportunities based on of the brand that we built. And that's literally what we're doing when with these potential investments that we're options that we're getting at this point. Because an easy way to explain it is that the grounds are of these projects are already closed, but because of the brand that we have and that they want a solid footing within the Web3 space, we get approached first before anybody else, and he actually get consulted about who else should they bring into this round because they want some Web3 exposure. So I just wanted to make the point that we are delivering on something that we talked about very early on, but it has taken a long time, of course, because Web2 moves differently and it takes a lot longer time for things to move. But it's very exciting that we are now finally like kind of delivering on that end of it.
See, that's the problem as well. I think I would say, like, the biggest problem. You guys want updates, we tell the updates, but doesn't mean that it's happening tomorrow. All right. I think anyone who runs a business, they know if I'm saying that I'm gonna, like, let's take Gary Vee, right? He's got something called as Flying Fish Club, right? So the NFT. He minted that out like a year back for 3 ETH each in the promise of building a restaurant in New York City. And all that does is the NFT gives you access to the restaurant, but then you go in there and you got to pay again for the food. But doesn't mean that that's the only utility of the NFT, right? And it's been a year and a half ish year kind of thing, right? And the restaurant's not ready. But that's a restaurant. It takes time to build, right? But that's the thing. Like, it's this is exactly the thing here. So we announce a plan or announce something what's going to happen as an update, but it's not like it's going to happen like tomorrow itself. The updates is for you guys to just understand the path we are taking and allow you to be like assess whether you like the path we are taking or not. So it's, I don't want to just say everything we are doing is long term, because it might seem like an excuse what a lot of projects are giving. We are here for the long term, we are building for the long term and stuff. But as I said, like at the same time, we also got to consider the development time that normally products take. I wish things can be faster, but even with a lot of money, doesn't mean that Bored Apes or even whoever are coming up with products like super fast, right? Because things take time. More so in Web3 because of a lot of complexities. It's not like a website coding alone. There's a lot of bugs and shit. You don't want to be making a contract that's hackable and stuff. Yes, there's multiple aspects to it, and especially when you're trying to move from Web3 to Web2 as a business or as an entity, it's different. And let's not forget that it's only been like roughly 3 weeks since all the team members kind of started full-time work, right, in Gojira, right? Even myself, right? I quit my job, but then there was events and stuff. It's only been like 3 weeks since we completely have dedicated our time and efforts fully to Gojira. So what you're going to see from now on with our execution and our product delivery is what's going to pretty much be the actual way how things are going to be in the future. So not 6 months back we were different. We launched like an alpha collection, getting whitelist spots and stuff, and then only in March or April we kind of launched our Gen 2, and after and April to June no one was full time. So the 2.5 months was purely everybody working part time. Like, we didn't none of us were like kind of like full time in Gojira as such, right? It's only been the last let's say few weeks that, like, the team has gone, like myself and Amresh and other members have gone in full time in Gojira. So only after this point you could judge us, like, in a sense, with our deliveries and stuff. So if I had promised something 6 months back or 5 months back, we didn't have enough funds, guys. Like, if I spoke about something in Jan, we had 15 ETH in fucking hand. Like, that's the amount we raised. Like, you think of it, right? So, some of them questioned, you should promise this in Jan. I didn't promise that in Jan. We never had a roadmap. I just told our ideas. But now we have the funds, and whatever is the good ideas, now it's easy for us to execute. So, I hope that's very clear, from our end. So, you can't look. What can. I think Relic. So you can't tell everything, but everything is going. I think like we cover. I don't know if you were here from the start of the AMA, but the VC, right? I think we kind of covered almost on all the topics and updates. So it's not about everything, but I think we told most of it, right? But at the same time, the front running aspect is really important. I really, hope you guys also understand that our own secretive sauce or our own secret sauce, we cannot completely reveal every bit, right? Easily projects can probably adapt or copy it. Like how many projects are trying to copy our 333 supply as a for starters, but not every project is even coming close to it, right? So all right, so it's not like everything is like easy to replicate. Even if whatever products we're launching, or like as I say, I can say 100 projects now which have got a 333 supply, but how many have kind of like completely dead, right? Even in this buy market or whatever, like they're not able to push past even like comes like 2 or 3 floor, even as being a 333, 444, 555 supply. So all those projects that were teasing us, you guys are low floor so you can maintain the floor, it's not, it doesn't work that way. It definitely it doesn't work that way. It took time, effort, and the community members who have believed and held this project through thick and thin. And this motivates us more and more. Anyone, like we, for us to push and give our most, to be like, when these guys 2 years down the line, they should be proud that they held and took this decision. This is something, whether you believe or not, this is a pressure that's on my head. Like this is not like it's a good pressure in the sense, like, you want to make sure these guys who trusted your this thing, we want to give more than our best, right? So I don't know how else we could be transparent, or how else we could prove that we are the least greedy team in the space, by taking as low as possible as our pay, and even if the whitelist spots or even those things in the meantime while we build, right? So because in the meantime when we build, we didn't charge a lot for our mint, we didn't take a lot of funds from the vault, we're not paying ourselves too much, we're not stealing the whitelist spots. Till the time we build and develop the product, what are we doing? We're giving almost everything back to the holders, right? But during this period, exactly like how we are giving up something, we just expect the holders to have a little more patience, and understanding that things take some time, right? And what else do you expect us to tell? You really think that if just dropping a dropping if we had dropped, just say, the merch or tools, you think the floor would have been 10x? Absolutely not. It doesn't matter. It's not about just the product coming out or something. It's about having a relevant product and having a sustainable product that not just targets the holders, but outside the the holder community as well. That's really important. Okay. So all these low supply projects doesn't mean they can win. You cannot copy another project. Every project that's going to be like, we are the next Doodles, we are the next Azuki, we are the next Gojiras, or we are the next Kaijus. Any of these projects that came out that way, or people thought that way, has never worked, right? So so as I said, like, it's pretty much comes down to you guys first understanding that till the time we build or develop, just see if the team is taking too much. What else can we do in the stage? Yeah, I'm happy for suggestions, but the only way we could prove till we build is not take profits, which we do not take, not take too much of salary, which we are not doing as well, because we treat this as a startup, not steal the whitelist spots, which we never do. And in this meantime, why we are doing this is because it's not like I don't want profits, it's not like I don't want to be more richer or something like that. It's that till the product is out, we want to make sure that you guys invested in this project, you get the highest benefits while we work out. And once we make, say, 30-40 million dollars a year consistently, I'm going to take my profits 100%, right? The team is going to take its profit, but we got to reach that point. Until we reach that point, we got to give up on few things, so which is what we are doing. All right. So I think pretty much. I think I've got to go. I think it's about 12:30 now. So if any other questions, just kind of tag me here, and um, also, like, if maybe, I don't know if Jamie wants to stay to answer if any more questions, but yeah, I think I wonder how 10K number of flash. full time. No, I think for somebody, Rio has asked one thing. This is the final question. I wonder how 10K and above collections managed to mint out and sustain decent floor back in the day, right? Remember that high supply doesn't mean that it is hard to maintain flow. High supply means there's more holders, more eyes to your project. It's no wonder that 10K supply projects always traditionally have got like higher and stronger floors, like say moonbirds or even like bored apes or azukis and stuff. It's because there's more people that know about the project and there's more holder support. Like even say Cyclic Anonymous, you see a lot more PA PFPs than say Gojira Genesis or Gen 2. Is clear because of the supply. So even like 30% of PA holders holding is putting the PFP is like 3,000 versus 100% of Gen 2 in Twitter is equivalent to 3,000. So the brand value, the brand growth because of this PFPs and because of community strength is a lot more when the supply collection is more, right? So each has got its pros and cons. Okay, so whether it's it's a 10K collection or a smaller supply, so there is no correlation to floor and the supply size according to me. It purely comes down to the team and execution. So again, we have our 10K through Jiraverse, through the VX or something. But even if say the PFPs are not the way we expect, like where people are not using as many, that's why Evolve is growing is evolving as a separate PFP collection as well. Like where I think so far we have got really good feedback of the artwork and being a common traits and stuff like that. So definitely that side of the remember one thing, even if evolves into the one of the biggest IPs and with a brand value or connections with other projects, PG is going to directly benefit. At the end of the day, like PGs are Jira Group is the team behind both the projects at the end of the day, but it's taking a different path. We do not want Evolve's floor or Evolve's this thing to be linked to Gojira's floor or anything. It's a completely different product, different target audience. Like Ezu was completely run by PA's Twitter or Waltura's Twitter. At the end of the day, it's the same set of people buying Ezu, right? But Evolve is, that's why till this point we haven't even touched PG Twitter or my Twitter, because we are bringing in like completely new sets of eyes and attention instead of just the same set of people. And also from the investor standpoint of view, it's going to be run differently. Like we would never sell the equity of PG, but we might sell the equity of Evolve for VCs, for example, right? So Evolve could be a VC play while PG would be the organic community growth, right? So I hope that part is clear. So Evolve is something where we don't have to, if we give up Evolve's equity, doesn't mean PG's equity would go away because it's a separate entity. Right? Is that clear? Like if we give up PG's equity, that means it's our only product or brand. But if you give up Evolve's equity, it doesn't matter. PG will still remain with us. Evolve would be a VC play or other benefits from that. So that is the main focus or aim behind the split between many projects. They do this rebranding, but they can't exactly explain why they're doing the rebranding. But I hope you guys managed to watch the videos what we posted in Singapore and in Twitter to kind of give an idea of what or why this rebranding was important, and even here for me to explain from the equity point of view why it is important for us to have like PG and Evolve separated and the utilities segregated, so that if we want to sell Evolve and we get some extra funding which is going to benefit the Jira ecosystem as in Jira Group as such, it's going to benefit everybody, but PG will be under our control. That's our that's pretty much our own our main product, right? Cool. You gotta go, guys. Thanks a lot for this. I think
guys.
Jamie, you're gonna stay back or done?
No, I'm cool. Thanks everyone. Yeah.
Right.
See you next week.
Thanks, guys.
See you.